Out of the way, slop drudge.
Who's that? Who's that over there? That's a Legion. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I can. No! I thought you were dead. In my defense, I thought you were dead. That's a cool watch, Nancy. I got a cool watch. Check it out. See? It's right there. Gold. That's what you sound like. About a year later, we're finally seeing what kind of mark that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to make on Dead by Daylight, and I have to say that my very first impressions in this PTB are extremely positive. I was worried, hearing that Springtrap was going to be a projectile killer, but I have to say that they've managed to do it in a way that I actually quite enjoy. The blend of stealth mechanics and his short-range attack is extremely fun. I actually have to say that I can see myself playing Springtrap quite a lot, because he's got a lot going on and quite a lot going for him on top of that. His axe is similar in some ways to playing Huntress, but instead of reloading, he can recall his axe after a brief cooldown, and while it's out, he speeds up to 115 like a normal killer. It doesn't travel far, and it partially gives info. I found this to be a really neat way that to tell me that I barely missed a shot. It kinda helped me get used to the way his axe aims and hits people too, if you ask me. His stealth component is similar to Demogorgon, Xenomorph, and Sadako. It's map pressure, so he can use it to traverse around the map, but when he leaves his station, he's undetectable. And so this means that instead of being forced into a stealth playstyle by design, you can lean into one if you want to and have it be just as effective. Being able to move seamlessly between the use of both of his powers actually felt really, really good. His animations are also really great. I enjoyed that quite a bit playing on the Survivor end. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's myself, and I'm not really that familiar with the lore. I gave myself a brief crash course to kind of understand exactly who Springtrap is supposed to be, but all of that is just to say that I'm very impressed with him in the game. I enjoy the way that he plays. I enjoy the way that he looks. His voice lines are kind of goofy like Chucky, and the sound design is just peak in general. The concept of a corpse instead of an animatronic is something that I find creepy and interesting too. Some people are saying that they don't like the chase music, but I actually think it's perfect and fitting for him. Honestly, it's not too distracting. It's mild. It's not too bombastic. So I find it easier to track people with it. Anyway. Unfortunately, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get a killer match on the PTB, and I actually waited for quite some time only for 2 lobbies to collapse as soon as the queue popped. So I've got far less actual footage playing as Springtrap for you. I am happy to report, on the other hand, that he is fun to play against as a survivor too though. I like his prop. Cameras are kind of fun to play with. It's fun to go through the security room too. He's fun to loop and chase. He can catch you off guard as well with his map traversal. However, I do know that when he comes out, he is going to be most, if not all, of what we see. I don't know how we're going to handle that one as a community. Back in 8.6, when Koniki released, I would have been one of the first people to tell you that I had started missing my variety. I enjoy playing Survivor to see and be murdered by a wacky cast of characters. When you're only seeing one thing get spammed over and over and over again, it does begin to make a person feel kind of weary. This is going to be very magnified for Springtrap, so I guess we're just going to have to see on that one. Probably about a week or so into the release how people are feeling, you know? Only time's going to be able to tell though. Too much of a good thing can be annoying as well, but you know, all I can say is that in time things will stabilize just like they did with Koniki and Wesker well before him. That brings me back to the other side of things. Killer queues. Springtrap is going to make those quite long, and furthermore, Behavior has announced that there are actually going to be 2 queues at the launch of this chapter. One where you exclusively get the new map, which, side note, it seems alright. I dig it. So far. But you're going to get that, and you're going to get the regular queue. Everyone and their mother is going to want to queue up a Springtrap, which means that killer queues are yet again going to be bottlenecked. About a week or so after this releases, we're also going to have the anniversary event queue start up. So that means that there will be 3 queues if they leave the super special map queue up. Behavior might retire that one if it ends up interfering with anything. They've been more responsive about things like that in recent years. But we'll see, because it does seem like they're really gunning for that map cube. So maybe they're hoping that the player base will be exploding enough during that time to not affect them as much. Servers, also, during the PTB, have been quite interesting. As I said, I waited about a full hour or so, and only got one actual game and 2 lobbies that just collapsed immediately. Got booted right back to the queue up screen, so we'll see what the actual release is like, but I'm assuming we're going to be seeing some more of that. And on that note, it's time to discuss some of the other things about 9.0. I have opinions about a lot of them, but I wanted to start with the things that I'm just completely and totally positive about, because there's actually a whole lot of that in this patch. First of all, the anniversary event is next month, from June 25th till July the 16th, and boy, am I excited. I absolutely love the anniversary. Trix will be coming back. I like her, she's funny, shut up. And it's looking like it's going to be pretty much just similar. Gonna have the bag of tricks, all that fun stuff. Honestly, I've been happy with the anniversary event the last couple of years, and I'm very much of an if it ain't broke mentality with the final Twisted Masquerade. And that's right, this is going to be the last year of that theme. I look forward to seeing what they have cooked up for the 10th anniversary next year, but this is this year. And as far as that goes, I'm just, once again, very excited. Can't wait. The anniversary is kind of like a little mid-year Christmas for me. It's my favorite event of the year. Then, just in time for the anniversary and the big BP gains that you get during it, we have bulk blood point spending. I couldn't be happier with this change. It's perfect. I can actually pick and choose where to dump my BP. And if I just want to shove it all in one place with the click of a single button, I can. I imagine that my P100s are going to grow immensely, because honestly, I just do not like spending BP manually. And it's one of the reasons that so many of my characters are so randomly prestiged. So big W there. I can't wait until it's in the live game. I wish it was in the live game now. It's going to vastly improve my experience, and this is probably the most highly praisable thing here right now. It's not the hugest feature in the world, but it means so much to me. I'm so happy about this one. And then moving on to something more gameplay related, we have the anti-go next prevention. Now, once I learned that the random YOLO Kobe is basically still in the game, but now it only activates when there's 2 people left, I'm mostly good. It does kind of suck that you seem to be unable to give a teammate hatch now. Looks like letting go in the second stage does not unlock under the new system when there's 2 survivors left, so, oh well, I guess it kind of is what it is. Maybe killers will stop slugging for the 4K now that they know they have a little bit more to... Who the fuck am I kidding? Some people just do that for the love of the game. Ultimately these measures will probably be healthier for the game in the long run, so it's hard to complain. The only thing that some people could maybe worry about is that they're going to have an automated system for detecting when people are really trying hard to go next over and over again in matches, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if behavior has a whole lot of false positives coming up after this system launches. I'll be interested and I'll be watching for sure. And then soon we're going to have a stats website. This right here is just the trifecta alongside the, I'm not really going to dedicate more than a sentence to it. There's going to be a gamma slider in this update too. But all of these things kind of coalesce into bringing DBD in line with some things that other multiplayer games have. I may not believe that DBD necessarily needs to add everything that other multiplayer games have, but things like being able to check stats are just fun. The fact that we've had to rely on third-party websites to do this for such a long time is just... it's not good. I won't lie to you. I don't use those websites just because I don't want to go to all that trouble, but... now we have an official way to do it, and Behavior has said that the website will update very quickly. Like, almost live, so it'll be fun. This video could actually go on for quite some time if I wanted to discuss everything at length, but I value yours and wanted to keep this general video about 9.0 more concise. some of these topics could take a while to discuss with actual nuance. So, with all of that being said, I wanted to briefly zoom in on a few of the updates to characters and perks, and in particularly towards the end here, some that I find questionable. First off, the artist is having some add-ons readjusted. Honestly, people that play the artist, which is not a whole lot of them by the way, they are basically saying that a lot of her add-ons are already pretty much not utilized. They're just not very useful. It's kind of like a pyramid head situation, and it looks like that behavior has gone to make the ones that actually are utilized not useful or good anymore. And this is a bit of a weird problem. I don't think artist has ever been an issue, and I don't know who would be clamoring for her add-ons to be nerfed. In fact, I feel like a lot of people don't even know what her add-ons actually even do. But all in all, she's a fine killer. She's strong, but hard to learn. She's also rewarding to learn, and because of these things, she has a low pick rate. That's why I question this. She's not really OP. I run into maybe 2 artists a month, and I just don't think that she is that big of an issue. I don't understand this. Please, behavior, do not fuck the artist up for people. She's fine, and honestly, I don't know why you guys have such a vendetta against low pick rate killers lately, because the Xenomorph proposed changes in the 8.6 PTB were also just really off the mark and unnecessary for a killer that I never hear people really complain about that much. So I don't know. Just maybe leave artist add-ons alone, or if you're going to rework them, you know, talk to people about what they actually value in the killer that they main. Now, moving on, we have killer perk adjustments, and I'm gonna slap these up on the screen for you. You can pause it if you would like to. It is your YouTube player after all. But honestly, it's just good to see stuff like Call of Brine get a little bit of love after its past nerfs, and Retribution's already a great part of any Hex build, and these are just straight buffs to this perk. It's just going to be even better now, so I can't really complain about any of these. But really, I wanted to move on because I actually do have a lot more to say about the Survivor perk adjustments in 9.0. Why are we buffing Botany Knowledge and Desperate Measures? Both of these perks are already incredibly strong and pair very well with Aurella's new perks as they are in the live version of the game. Buffing them is, in my opinion, unnecessary and several steps in the wrong direction balance-wise. Heal speeds are beginning to creep back up again, and I do not envision this being positive for the future of the game. There are so many perks on the Survivor side that are currently, to put it politely, kinda dogshit. These include Poised, Premonition, Spine Chill, Clairvoyance, Treacherous Crows, Calm Spirit, Self-Preservation, Cut Loose, and almost any of the Teamwork perks. Take your pick. Why are we buffing some of the strongest perks available to survivors and letting these rot at the bottom of the pick rate pile? I simply can't see a world where these healing perks weren't already in a perfect spot. And furthermore, I think that continued attempts to adjust their power level upwards could seriously undermine attempts to rein in healing speeds to far more fair levels in the past. And with that, we've reached the end of our little tour of 9.0. What do you all think? I am very interested to see what people have to say about this one. This chapter is quite large, and there is a lot to talk about, and even more that I didn't get to due to time constraints. I'm working on some other video topics as well, and I'd actually like to talk more about some of those killer buffs in those, because I think there's more detail to get into, and a video that I want to make actually does pertain to the soon-to-be buffed Vecna, at least partially. And so with that, GG's well played, thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your next match. I appreciate that so many of you have subscribed, and we're almost at 100. That blows my mind, and it makes me incredibly happy. I appreciate your viewership so much. Peace.